inshallah. So today, in A to Z of mental health, we're going to learn about body dysmorphia. Why have I chose this subject? Because I have limited time, first of all, and second of all, it falls very nicely into subjects as bulimia and anorexia. However, there is disclaimer here. Not every anorectic person, not every bulimic person will have body dysmorphia. But I think the longer you listen to me, the longer you learn from me today, you will understand that we are in many respects not free from some of the symptoms here. So what is body dysmorphia? Well, it is that moment when you spend too much time worrying about your appearance. Yeah, so you worry about how you look, and it's not necessarily related to all of your body. It is actually related to some parts of your body. So you might think that your nose is too thin, or you might think that your fingers are too long. And where is that coming from? Well, right now in psychology, we have different data coming through, and some of us, we seek the roots of the problem in self-esteem and experiences such as bullying, abuse, which can lead to feeling scared to be alone as well, or even develop into depression, anxieties, or OCD symptoms. So it's been said in many by many that body dysmorphia really relates to lack of symmetry, or you think that there's something fundamentally disfigured about your body. Okay, so you're obsessively checking your appearance in the mirror. You're constantly looking and you're seeing the faults. You know, whenever you look in the mirror, you see the faults in you. What else is happening is that you're avoiding mirror actually because you don't want to upset yourself. You might change your style of clothing just to hide certain disfigurement. You might avoid social situations as well. You might deprive yourself of very precious time, quality time with your friends, even with your cousins, with your family. You're isolating yourself to avoid situations that remind you about this discomfort that you feel in your body. It can even develop into something more than isolation or depression. You can actually go as far as using alcohol or drugs just to forget about it. Now, if that doesn't sound like something that you come across already, your personal experience or somebody else's experience, I think especially right now we're talking about teenagers, because whilst they going through this individualization stage, it's very likely that they're going to see how their body is changing and compare it to others. And that's another element. You compare your body, you compare yourself to others. But that's just not where it finished. You feel shame, you feel guilt that you don't fit in, that you are not perfect. If that's not looked after, that kind of approach to yourself, that relationship with yourself, what can happen is you develop OCD symptoms. You can pick your skin as well as hair. You can think and consider and actually go as far as cosmetic surgery. You can self-harm yourself. You can have suicidal thoughts as well, and if necessary, deprive yourself of food. And that's where bulimia, anorexia, and other eating disorders coming through. So let me see if you have any questions. No, I think you are. Oh, somebody is with us from Indonesia. How great, brilliant. Okay, Assalamu alaikum ashkarini. Now, what is the solution then? So if you don't think that this is you, if you think that it's not as far as disorder, but you find some of those symptoms in your past or maybe in your present, I think the number one solution is serotonin. And actually what we find in psychology, in research of psychology, is that the SRI component, which is serotonin reuptake inhibitors, they can effectively reverse body dysmorphic disorder. So the reason why I talk about it is because raising serotonin is not necessarily only drug induced. You can make yourself happy. You can implement in your daily, I'm not talking weekly, in your daily routine, self-care. What is self-care? Well, anything that makes you happy, right? Anything that gives you pleasure, anything that makes you feel relaxed and okay about the world, okay about yourself. So it means different things for different people. So it might be light exercise, like Pilates, or light food. You want to maybe a food will have that effect on you. You have to go with the flow and see what it is. It's actually very recommendable to create to-do lists, because many of people with body dysmorphic disorder, they will develop OCD, meaning compulsion about their daily whereabouts, especially related to their body. So you want to distract that kind of approach, that kind of thinking pattern, and you want to implement some other routines, right? So so that will enable you to think about something else other than just how, I quote, ugly you look, or how you don't fit to environment. Now, approach to your thinking here is the key. First of all, you need to recognize your maladaptive thinking. What I mean by that, your negative thinking. So maybe you want to make a list of things that come to your head related to your body. Have a look at it, be honest with yourself, and make decision whether this is actually something rational. You know, many people, they go for all or nothing thinking, meaning this car makes me completely disgusting, right? How realistic is that thinking? Or some people will do mind reading, and they might hear in their head, oh, I know that my friend wishes that I had a better skin. I am absolutely confident that my girlfriend, she hates going out with me because I embarrass her, right? You don't know that, but that's why it's so important to tune into yourself, sit down, write down those thinkings, and see what categories they're falling in. Is it all or nothing thinking, mind reading? Maybe you're catastrophizing as well. If you don't go out, if you don't socialize, most likely it is because of some anxieties. You predict, you assume, you make assumption that something happens. Now, for those of you who are watching and you are interested in Islamic psychology, assumptions is something that we are warned against. It is actually one of the diseases of the heart. This is that point when when Satan is playing with your mind, with your akal, and that's why it's so difficult to reverse it. That negative thinking. Now. There is another method. Not all of you are going to be ready for it. Most likely you need some guide, you need some therapist, but you can also expose yourself to a situation that makes you feel uncomfortable. But that has to be done in a very gradual way and safe way to use. So start with 1 minute, then build yourself to 2-3 minutes per day, and make it a habit. Make it a habit on your daily or weekly routine, so you learn by example that it's not as scary as your mind, as your thinking makes it out to be, right? So for instance, if you have tendency to look into the mirror all the time and look in your nose because you think your nose is too big, perhaps the method that will help you is to next time when you look into the mirror, don't come too close to the mirror, but stand in a distance and look at the all of your body. Don't forget, body dysmorphia is actually concentrating on bits and pieces. It's not all about all of you. Okay, so one of those suggestions, I hope they come helpful, but that's not the end. You see, everything that I already told you is like a plaster. It's something that will keep you going. Now, the heart of the problem is why. So always ask yourself question, why? When did it started? Most likely you are self-defeating, yeah? You are escaping certain feelings. I mean, just like last Monday, we've spoken about sitting down with yourself, asking yourself question, what is underneath? What kind of feeling is it? Is it a shame, sadness, anxieties? Yeah. So try to figure out what is it that is actually going on. Is it a secondary reaction to what is actually, as we call it, hurting you inside? What is your pain? What is your underlying pain? Yeah. For therapists like me, what we find is that most likely your problem with body dysmorphia is distraction, or it's a reaction to some unpleasant series of experiences. It might be bullying, it might be teasing, it might be abuse, it might be the fact that your family, where you're coming from, that your family values, they are actually counterproductive for the person who you are, and you've adopted those values, and you go through life thinking that it's okay to think about yourself, that you are not lovable, that you are inadequate, that you are ugly, where in fact it is one of those irrational thoughts. Okay, so let me see if you have any questions. No, not so far. Let me see. All right, you all good? Thank you very much for joining. Again, please subscribe to my channel, to my YouTube channel, and I hope to see you very shortly on A to Z of mental health with letter C. Okay.